Anyways, chat, I think it's time for us to react to another Zenith video. Has anyone ever thought that? Of like the amount of times like I've done those whole like Furries React to like memes, whatever, and it's just like, when is Beta gonna do another video watching a Zenith video? I just like content. That's good enough for me. Anyways, let's watch a thing. This has been something I've wanted to sort of watch with you guys for the past week or so now, if you didn't know. Okay, here we are. So you all know Zenith, good old Zenith, the original and genuinely good meme compilation content creator for furry YouTube, all that stuff. He does a bunch of like the meme compilations that we love to see. I've reacted to a shit ton of them. He started doing a lot more of these sort of projects relating to the furry fandom, like they did the furry detector. We saw that. That was really cool. He made a couple of bots. He made Deep Cough. Point being, Zenith is an absolute sweetheart, and he puts his heart and soul into all these projects and programming projects that he just wants to have fun with. And he did a thing recently called Mapping the Furry Fandom. But if you liked the Furry Detective video, you're gonna love this one. I'm assuming he did the same thing with it. So, here's hoping.
Hi, I'm Zenith, and I want to ask you a question. Do you think that the furry fandom is safe for work or not safe for work?
Yes.
Now, in reality, I don't care about your opinion, but this makes a great segue into the topic of this video.
Yes! Zenith, I love you. Oh my god. He just got onto the point of like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna answer this question for you, but I really don't care what your opinion is. This has only been 13 seconds and we're in for a treat.
Topic of this video.
The community.
That is some cute art.
Fandom.
Oh.
In this video, I'm going to expose Twitter.com and show how the furry fandom is structured. Before we begin, though...
Wait! What did I just miss? What did I just miss? Did he already call out the entirety of furry Twitter before this happened? Is this video foreshadowing of what was to come? Oh my god.
I'm going to expose Twitter.com and show how the furry fandom is structured. Before we begin...
Look, if you've been around the Twitch sphere at all, you've probably seen one of these posts by the Reddit user xach.
I haven't.
These show the top streamers of Twitch and their communities.
I haven't.
The size of the circle is how many viewers a streamer has, and the lines represent a shared audience between two different streamers. What's cool is that it analytically shows...
Zenith, I don't know what this whole graph is. I don't care about fucking what XQC is doing. But either way, I've never seen one of these, but thank you for explaining it.
A lot of communities that people intuitively knew. Right here you have League streamers, and here's the Dream Tangential Minecraft streamers, and now every community.
Oh my god, I love how he pointed out like the Dream community as its own little island as well. The fact that he pointed out the Dream, like the Dream Entertainment Network as like its own little island in this is pretty fucking funny.
When I saw this post, all I really thought was, I could yoink this for my own video.
I fucking love, first off, where did he get this art? I want to commission the artist. It's cute as shit. He's cute as shit. I want this art. Send me artist reference, please. I want a commission. Also, I wasn't paying attention to the last few seconds, so I'm going to go back and watch this again.
Look, if you've been around the Twitch sphere at all, you've probably seen one of these posts by the Reddit user xach. These show the top streamers of Twitch and their communities. The size of the circle is how many viewers a streamer has, and the lines represent a shared audience between two different streamers. What's cool is that it analytically shows a lot of communities that people intuitively knew. Right here you have League streamers,
kind of neat.
Here's the Dream Tangential Minecraft streamers, and now every community in between.
I'm gonna be honest, like, this genuinely, like, this whole chart, if we're putting it into the perspective of like the furry fandom, like with what he made, that's gonna help me so fucking much, because I don't even analyze my own analytics on channel performance. He analyzed it for me. Either way,
when I saw this post, all I really thought was, I could yoink this for my own video. I want to do something similar with furry Twitter.
That's me. Oh my god, Zenith is learning. He's like, oh, I could take this and use it all for my own stuff. And I can involve Twitter in it. And that's exactly how I come up with my own content. Whenever I genuinely need something to do a video on, I consult Twitter. And that is what Zenith is doing.
I want to do something similar with furry Twitter. All I have to do is get the top furry accounts, collect their followers, and then compare their follower/fan bases. Sounds simple, right?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Wait, it should be fine. What? Twitter data is publicly available. Just take it. You should have asked me. Just take it. You don't talk to me. Just take it. I'm upset. This could have been easier. Just ask me for the data. Jesus.
When you create a Twitter account, you have the option to follow others.
Did you just
and people
fucking
can
follow
you back.
yourself?
Since you
Why?
watching
Is the first clip you really used of you following yourself on Twitter? That's the same energy as liking your own tweet. Realistically, it doesn't matter, and I shouldn't care as much, but I just think that's funny how the first clip is like, I'm gonna follow this wah on Twitter with Yoda is Pog.
When you create a Twitter account, you have the option to follow others, and people can follow you back. Since you
Why? Why? Okay, he knew I'd be watching this. He fucking knew that the picture of Yoda and the banner, he fucking knew I'd be watching this. Zenith, I'm upset. Stop being self-aware that I'm watching this, okay? Stop it. Just please. But still, Yoda is Pog. Follow me back, please.
follow you back. Since you watching the video is probably a furry, my logic is that you will most likely follow other furries. And if another furry likes you, then they can follow you
Zilch!
back. Congratulations, you've made an online
Wah!
friend. But who cares? I mean, what's more
Exactly.
important is that you made my life easier. Here's how. I wrote a quick, took me 2 months, script to collect the followers and
Yep, that statement in a nutshell is pretty much coding. I wrote a quick script, took me 2 months.
and following of the largest furry accounts.
Okay.
I got the subset of these two lists, or their mutuals, and then did the same process. For
He's
them.
using a
Doing
statistics
this
ter-
repeatedly, you get something.
I just saw. I'm upset. This fucking abbreviation scares me. As someone who's taken 3 years of statistics, I still don't know what the fuck it means. And I hate. Wait a minute, no! This is in fucking linear algebra. Why is this here? Oh, because lines of code. Yeah, never mind.
Mutuals, and then did the same process for them. Doing this repeatedly,
Mutuals.
you get something called a breadth first search algorithm, which is yucky computer science bad. You
I'm
don't
still
care.
confused.
After getting this process to work, though, I ended up collecting the followers of over 1,300 unique Twitter accounts.
Okay.
And real quick, just to show you how stupid that is, here's the file that stores my data. It is massive, 780 megabytes and 26 million lines of JSON.
Cleaning the
Processing
data.
is actually fairly easy. It's very demanding computing-wise, but actually just a very simple operation. When I compare the followers of Major to BetaEtaDelota, hope I got that right this time.
I hate you. You're
What?
doing this on purpose. I hate you. You're doing this to torment me. I know what you're doing. You're so self-aware. Stop it. Look, if it wasn't apparent that you knew I was watching this video before, I hate this. I hate this so much.
What I get after this operation is something called an edge list, which represents the
I'm
amount
not
of
edgy. I left that phase, okay? You cannot call me out for this. I know I did Call of Duty commentaries. I know I was a Tumblr teen. I know that I was depressed and edgy in high school. I left that phase behind me, okay? And you and me both know it. Don't call me out on a video like this.
but actually just a very simple operation. When I compare the followers of Major to BetaEtaDelota, hope I got that right this time, what I get after this operation is something called an edge list, which represents the amount of followers shared between everyone.
Wait, edge list is not the same thing as edgy list. Like edgy and edge are different. Oh.
Everyone else that I collected. Now, let's open this up in Gephi. Gephi is a free open source graphing tool that I
Gephi!
used for this project, and here's how I cleaned my data. So in Gephi, all I have to do is import my labels and my edges. After that, you see we get this massive black box. This is all the data unprocessed.
It's
now, the next thing we have
useless.
to do is put in a filter for the edges. We filter out any edge smaller than 4,000. As you can see, it's already starting to take shape. And now you may be asking, why remove edges? Well, Twitter is a very large platform, so odds are that even if two large furries don't interact in any way, they may still have one or two shared followers, which is really no shared audience. Now your second question is probably, why remove edges under 4,000 shared followers? We'll get back to that later. The next step is to make the graph look a little bit more readable. So I changed the circle size of each person to represent how many followers they have. Next, let's add some color. So I run something called modularity, and what this does is this finds groups inside of...
Dude, you can make my
I run
YouTube
it, and then you
thumbnails with this
see
program.
graph. Now, you can
Look at
see
how
a lot
much
that there
fucking,
are
like-
5 communities that have a considerable amount, and then
I've already lost track of what you're talking about right now. We'll go back to it later. This right here is perfect for a YouTube thumbnail for me. If you've seen how I make them, this would be perfect. Apply a satin and make it a dissolve effect. This is how I could just use this program. Who needs Adobe for like $40 a month? I can just use this. Hook me up, Zenith.
how many followers they have. Next, let's add some color. So I run something
Color.
called modulator.
Ooh,
and what
pretty.
this does is this finds
Saturation. You already know how it works with YouTube thumbnails.
inside of the data set. I run it, and then you see this graph. Now you can see on the left that there are 5 communities that have a considerable amount, and then like hundreds of size 1 groups. Each of these is a person that did not have more than 4,000 shared followers with anybody else, so their group can't be determined.
This is the point where like 90% of furry Twitter would probably stop paying attention to be like, oh, did he really just say I'm not important because I don't have more than 4,000 followers? Do furries really think this? Ugh.
That's a side effect of the edge weight filter that we'll get back to later. Otherwise, all I do now is color the communities and get rid of all the extras. Now, it's time for the moment.
It looks
all
like
been waiting.
Picasso. Okay, visualizing. Gotcha. It's an amoeba. That's all the furry fandom was. A disease. I knew it. It's all it's ever been. It's just been mutating and spreading and expanding and multiplying. That is the truth of the furry Look! It's splitting!
Whoa, relax. I'm gonna get copyrighted by Steam.
I'm not happy.
And there you have it, the furry fandom on Twitter. I'll show you around. So in this pink section, you may or may not recognize some names. It's mostly furry YouTubers, conventions, fursuit makers.
Okay.
Basically, most of the safe for work content creators. And moving over here to green, we have...
What do you mean most? Have you seen my Twitch chat? Why the fuck am I even remotely there? I gotta check the key diagram again because I'm on like the far right side and the left side is like all NSFW and I'm like far away. I'm like, how did I end up there?
Generic Twitter accounts. People like Jib Cody, Keke Flipnote, Odd Ones Out, and plenty of others. Now, moving on to yellow, we have porn.
Yes.
And moving down here to blue, we have more porn.
It's also yes.
And finally, moving down to orange, we actually have the My Little Pony fandom.
Really?
Nah, I'm just messing with you. It's just more porn.
Hey!
You know, it's actually kind of ironic that the fandom is in the shape of a massive cock. Before we begin, here's a few helpful things. First, here's a chart.
Wait, hold on. Wow, who knew that the tip of the furry fan would be all these content creators and basically the heart of the fandom? Look, I'm just pointing out what all of us are thinking at this point. It's okay.
Fandom is in the shape of a massive cock.
Analysis.
Here's a few helpful things. First, here's a chart that shows each color of the communities.
Okay.
I'll keep this down in the bottom right for reference.
I still don't get it.
Next, for some knowledge on how this map was generated, the algorithm that created this graph is called Force Atlas 2. It uses math far more complicated than I'd ever like to want or know, but the gist of it is that similar people attract and opposite people repel. And in this case,
Exactly.
the more followers you share, the more similar you are. Now that you have the background information, these next few insights will make sense. Number 1. There is an inherent gap between relatively safe for work and not safe for work furries.
No, there isn't. I know the data says otherwise, but there isn't.
You see this area right here? There's
Yes.
an obvious top gap. Not a single person in the dataset fit the category of being similar to the neighbors of this area. And looking down between orange and green,
Experience my Twitch chat once. I know it's Twitter. Twitter's a different thing, but like Twitch chat is an entirely different beast, and it stays on Twitch chat. Twitch chat is the equivalent of Vegas.
the gap is a little less obvious but still there. Number 2. The content you post matters for your account's fanbase. Let's look
Yes.
at Rick Griffin's accounts. Here we
Hot.
see that House Pets is in the dead center of green, and Rick's writing is in the same general area, but our Griffin Studios, the account where Rick posts more provocative content, is established in the blue group. It's the same person, but because they post different content on different accounts, these accounts end up in different communities. Number 3. This is gonna sound a little crazy, but sexual preference is actually encoded into this graph. I spent so long trying to figure out the difference between orange and yellow. I mean, I knew they were all definitely 18 plus, but I couldn't find the difference. I was stuck browsing various accounts until it hit me. Orange draws pee-pee, while yellow draws booby.
Wait,
Actually,
really?
more nuanced than that. From orange to blue to yellow, it's more of a spectrum of attraction. On the orange, you get mostly masculine figures. Blue is fairly mixed with no real preference. And then yellow, you get mostly feminine figures. And I
Really?
say it's a spectrum because, for instance, look at Tokufuji right here.
Also, I think that's more of a correlation than just anything. I mean, the data's there to sort of prove it, but again, the sample size is like 621 plus or so. I don't know how many exactly, but point being, like, that's kind of neat.
They draw hella femboys, but they're in the yellow
Pod.
community because it's feminine leaning. Number 4, the furry fandom is slightly masculine leaning. For whatever reason, the pink and green communities gravitate towards the orange community. For a moment, I want you to pay attention to Nonstop Pup here. They do something pretty unique. They bridge the gap between the pink and the orange communities. And looking through everyone else in the dataset, I struggle to find similar connections from the yellow community to the pink. In summary, these points all build on each other, and just like the Twitch map, it really does make intuitive sense the more you look at it. At the beginning of the video, remember when I asked you if the fandom was SFW or NSFW? Well, it's actually a 50-50, so...
That was literally me when I heard of the word meme for the first time. I'm like, meme? Is it a meme? What's a meme? I know it was a joke, but it's still funny. SFW or non-SFW? I love it. Zenith, I love you, and I love these videos. God damn it.
Similar connections from the yellow community to the pink. In summary, these points all build on each other, and just like the Twitch map, it really does make intuitive sense the more you look at it. At the beginning of the video, remember when I asked you if the fandom was SFW or NSFW? Well, it's actually a 50-50, so you're all right.
So, no, I was right. You asked that question in the beginning of, like, is the furry fandom safe for work or NSFW? And I'm like, yes. Yes. And therefore, I was correct. Fuck you, I win.
I won't bore you with any more analysis, but I think the best way for you to get a feel of the data is to browse it yourself. Down in the description, I have links to a website where you can view the graph yourself.
I looked at the graph and like it made more confusion than you explaining it. Just explain it to me a bit more, please. Also, you're good at presenting things. I know we talked about this in the furry detective video, but Zenith has a gift. You know, technically he's an engineer. He's into STEM. He knows what he's doing with coding. But along with that, he can also explain it to you in a manner of not making your head go boom. That's a very rare skill to find. That's why we're here again watching Zenith again. So just saying.
And there's a Google spreadsheet containing the community descriptions, edges, and nodes of the dataset.
Oh, okay. Flaws.
This section will be very brief. All I really wanted to cover is the issue of removing edges. You see, if I left in every single edge weight, the final map derived from Force Atlas 2 becomes meaningless. First off, with the number of connections, it becomes unbearably slow to calculate. This is sped up a lot, by the way.
It's a furry disease, I told you.
But more importantly, the final graph you get is essentially useless. I mean, look at this. It's just a blob of clown barf.
It's a Picasso
So the workaround
painting.
is to do what I did. Filter out the smaller edges so that only the larger, more important ones remain. Because the sparser the graph is, the better Force Atlas performs. However, the unintended consequence is that smaller nodes may get removed. I mean, think about it like this. If you have 3,000 followers, there's absolutely no way that you can share 4,000 followers with anybody else. In a perfect map of the furry fandom on Twitter, I would include every single sized person, even all the way down to accounts with less than 100 followers. However, with my current strategy, that's just not possible. If I ever did something like this again, maybe a good way to fix the issue is to base it on relative percentages. Something like, if the edge weight is more than 5% of the smallest of the two users, it stays. Otherwise, don't include the edge. But as of now, I don't have an effective solution. I bet there are plenty more issues with my methodology, but when this video goes live, it's been over 3 months since I started this project, and I'm writing the script at 5 a.m., so I don't care.
My god! You reminded me of my time when I did informational videos, and I scripted them at 5 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. Oh, it hurts.
I like the feedback I got about the furry detector and my other projects, so leave a comment if you spotted anything that could be improved.
The only thing I can say about things being improved is don't call me out in your videos, please.
I know I memed this earlier in the video, but like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and maybe even share. This took an incredible amount of effort, and I'd appreciate any of the support. Really, the only thing I have to say left is go follow my socials, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey everyone, I'm Zen. My furry detector has now been released on GitHub for everyone to use. All you need is...
What the fuck just happened to me? I mean, I'll be honest, it's still pretty cool. It's still really cool.